welcome to the Grand Sports Center. It's the Monday morning edition, and I'm happy to be here with you. It wasn't such a bright end to last week, as Friday evening saw the Super Eagles surrender a 4-goal lead to draw 4-4 with the Lone Stars of Sierra Leone. But we are back this morning brighter and looking forward with great expectation to the return leg match which comes up tomorrow in Freetown. So on the program today, we shall do a countdown to the Super Eagles Sierra Leone second leg match in Freetown. We talk about expectations, especially with the coach, Gedatra, talking about the players giving us a reaction, a very positive reaction to that draw on Friday. Leon Balogun and Truth Ekong are also in the news talking about how prepared they are to go out there to make up for the disappointments of last Friday. Victor Osimhen, not too good for him. He had to return back to Napoli as he cropped up a shoulder injury in that match against Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leoneans too are talking tough. The country's president, number one citizen of that country, Julius Pio, is already celebrating the Leone Stars as for that feat they recorded on Friday in Benin when they drew 4-4 with the Super Eagles. The FA president, Johansson, as well, is talking about victory also. But then a big blow for the Sierra Leoneans. They will be without their captain, Usman Bagura, who will miss the match due to suspension. Shall be talking about this. The results of weekend matches. Other African Cup of Nations matches were played over the weekend. We shall be taking a look at the results. And also UEFA Nations League in Europe. We had a series of matches played. We shall also be talking about the results of those matches. Other issues that made the round over the weekend. Lewis Hamilton could not stop breaking records. He equaled Michael Schumacher's record of 7 Drivers' Championship victories when he won the Turkish Grand Prix on Sunday. Rafael Nadal got his ATP final tournament to a very big start with victory. In golf, Dustin Johnson won his Masters, his maiden Masters victory. He's a world number 1 golf player, but he has never won the Masters. He got it on Sunday. Tyson Fury, there was this talk of him fighting in December, but he has put off that fight. Reasons for it, we shall be talking about it on the program. Plus the usual Super Eagles watch and today in sports history. And if time will permit, we'll also talk handball, talking about the just concluded National Handball Championship in Nigeria. These are more we have for you on the program today, so sit back and enjoy yourself while we here in the studio will try to give you all this information in a way that will spice up your day. I am Donald Agbavobo. I'm joined as usual in the studio by Austin Arume.
Thank you for having me.
And Blessing Bassi.
Oh, good to be here.
We shall take a short break. When we come back, we'll go straight into the issue of the day. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center and straight to our first issue. The Super Eagles versus Sierra Leone will be playing the second leg match tomorrow in Freetown. Well, before we even start talking about reactions coming in, did you see that 4-4 scoreline coming on Friday?
To be candid, I didn't actually see that
I
happen.
remember you saying that it was going to be a 2-1 victory.
It's going to be a 3-0 victory. Presented a 3-0 victory for the Super Eagles, but never came to be. Well, I didn't actually see, the Sierra Leonean actually getting a point from
Okay,
here.
already Genatro is talking about reactions, that the Super Eagles were going to react positively.
Yeah.
And that means they're going to go all out blazing in the return leg match, which comes up tomorrow in Freetown.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing they will have to do to appease Nigerians now, because a lot of Nigerians were actually very, very sad about the situation. We even heard that some of them went as far as, blocking the entrance of the stadium. They said the players and all the officials should not even come outside of the stadium. So you can see the anger. But then, the disappointment is all over. So the only thing they can do right now to make up for what happened in Benin is to come back with all 3 points.
Okay, we know. But then, will it be easy in Sierra Leone? The sports minister, Sunday Dare, has also joined the chorus that the Super Eagles must go all out for victory because nothing short of victory will be good enough. But then, will it be easy in Sierra Leone?
It won't be easy if you ask me, honestly, because even their president is even excited about their win. I mean, for the fact that they couldn't, the Super Eagles couldn't get a win at home, it's really a shocking one, and it's also disappointing. You know, we expected that after that 4-0 win, we expected that they will hold to that and at the end of the day at least get a win, but unfortunately they had to come behind and draw. But let's expect that going to Sierra Leone is going to be a lot better compared to what
Yes, we just talked about not being able to hold on to that win. But what could have been responsible? You remember Logan talked about inexperience. Would that have been a factor?
Yeah, inexperience.
But how inexperienced is this Super Eagles team? They've been together for some time.
They've been together, they're professionals. But one thing I noticed about this team is that they don't have a leader in the team. Now, you actually, at one point in time, we're 4 goals up. Then before we went into the break, they scored one. And when we came back, now what I expected them to do is to manage the game. Now, when the Sierra Leonean side scored the second goal, I think there was that sense of panic among the players. So what if the fans were to be in the stadium, I believe the fans would be like a source of encouragement for them. But at that particular point in time, they needed a leader, somebody who can hold on to the ball and tell them to calm down. If you watch the game very well, it got to a point where we could not even hold onto the ball. The moment we get the ball, we are giving it back to the Sierra Leonean. So I believe, that is part of the reason, and this is something, Coach General has to look into.
Yes, Austin mentioned the fact that there was no leader in that team. But Truce Ekong, after Ahmed Musa was substituted, became the captain, because he's the vice captain of the team. And he was culpable, according to a lot of analysts. He was culpable in the defeat, in that he was supposed to be marshalling the defense and controlling defense. But he's already moving on from that disappointment. He's talking about the Nigerian spirit coming to play, the return leg. They never said that attitude of Nigerians, that's what they're going to count on to go for victory in Sierra Leone. So what do you make of this?
Well, the thing is, like Austin said, if we had a competent person, a competent leader to lead the Super Eagles, I think it would have been a better result. We need this. Another factor that contributed to this is this very short time of preparation for this match, especially. The players took a lot of time, and there were a lot of delays and one obstacle or the other. But at the same time, we need a highly spirited Super Eagles team to play against Sierra Leone in the return leg, because they need to. I mean, this team exactly. This team can go to Cameroon come 2022.
Yes, indeed. And
honestly,
but what about the selection of Genotro? Balogun was talking about lack of the inexperience in the back line.
Yeah.
For the goalkeeper, Maduka Okoye, Akpoguma, Zaidu Sanusi playing their first time for the Super Eagles, and but then the selection generally, there was no Eboy, there was no Olaina, natural right fullback.
Yes.
They decided to play Akpoguma,
And
a central defender, the right fullback. Though he has given us reasons already that it's better in the air, but then is it tenable? Do we really have to call to question the selection for the match?
Yeah, and, to an extent, why play someone who is not a right full back? Why play him out of position? Yeah, when you have a natural, full back, who has been playing for the Super Eagles. So I think you can also attest to that. Then we can also talk about the changes. When we're 4-1 up, the changes he made, I think I expected a different kind of approach to that game. At one point in time, you saw Iwobi was gasping for air, like he was literally tired. So I think at that point in time, he should have replaced Iwobi. And if you saw what happened in that game, we lost it from the midfield.
Yes, that I was coming to that. Iwobi, you just mentioned Iwobi. I think without being told, Genetro has been in charge of this thing for over about 4 years now.
Yeah.
He should have a grasp of these players. We all know that it's a known fact. Iwobi is not a 90 minutes player for Super Eagles.
Yes.
He will give you the good first 60 minutes. Iwobi will give it to you. After that, anything you see, you take. But then, by now, I'm sure that Genetro should have been able to read between the lines and know that, fine, in planning for his match, I expect 60 minutes of good football from Iwobi.
Yeah.
When he gets tired, I'll do this change, I'll make this change. But
Exactly.
the fact that he left him just shows that he wasn't actually reading. For me, where I was going to actually was the midfield, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Could Etebo have been complacent also? Because I noticed some kind of overconfidence in holding on to the ball in midfield.
Yeah.
We're leading.
Yeah, and you know, that is part of the game. If you are leading, your ability to manage the game. But it's not just in
He was the most experienced in
Yeah,
that
it's the
midfield.
most experienced. But it's not just about holding the ball. What are you doing when you're holding on to the ball? You understand? Whenever you are winning, you are in a leading position. Those things really matter. When you're holding on to the ball, what is the body language? What are you telling your players? Not that you are holding on to the ball, or when you hold on to it, you lose it. But the most important thing is when you have this ball, what you do with it.
Perhaps we are beginning to miss John Obi Mikel.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people were asking at the tail end of his career with Super Eagles, what is he still doing? He's old and everything. Now we know what he does. With an Obi Mikel in that team, obviously he would have been able to hold on to that ball. I can also remember when Nigeria played Tunisia in a qualifier for the 2010 World Cup at the National Stadium here in Abuja. Nigeria needed to win that match. Tunisia equalized late in that match, ended 2-2. At the time Nigeria scored 2-1, we were leading and a few minutes to go before the Tunisians scored their late goal. Austin Okocha had retired. Kalu Wanko was the captain of the team. And he was standing at the sideline of the pitch shouting, pass it to Papilo. Give it to Papilo. The reason was, if you give it to Papilo, he will hold on to that ball.
Yeah.
Nobody can take it from his leg. He has a way of guarding the ball very well. He kept on shouting, give Papilo, give Papilo. We needed somebody to be shouting yesterday. Who was going to hold the ball for it? Perhaps if Obi was there, would have said, give it to Mikel Obi, because we needed somebody to actually hold on to the ball, to run down the time and tire out the opponent, but we didn't have such a person. Then as we wrap up on this particular issue, blessing, Victor Osimhen will not be part of the second leg match in Freetown. He's gone back to Napoli because he cropped up an injury, a shoulder injury in that match. How disappointing is this for Osimhen as a person and the team generally?
Okay, it's really going to be disappointing, because I feel like he's more of a key player in Super Eagles match. You know, I predicted he was going to score. I also predicted Nwobi and what's this other guy's name that scored?
You are giving yourself thumbs up.
Yeah.
For the predictions.
Yes, exactly. But it's really a sad one. But you obviously have to go for treatment, you know. But I think the Nigerian fans will miss him, especially in the next the game tomorrow against Sierra Leone. But
So it's like the ball now falls on Kelechi Iheanacho,
yes,
because he's the next in line. Are we talking about Onuachu? Because for me, Onuachu has not really been able to stamp his authority in the national team. So if we are looking at a substitute, probably Iheanacho, or do you prefer Onuachu as replacement?
I prefer Iheanacho to Onyachu. I prefer him to that. But well, let's expect the very best from
The coach will
Super
determine
Eagles,
that.
Yes.
Well, the Nigerian Super Eagles versus Leon Stars of Sierra Leone match will come up tomorrow in Freetown. Tomorrow we'll also give you more information as it happens there with regards to Super Eagles preparations. They should be in Freetown by now, because going by the travel agreement, they left by 8 a.m. by a chartered flight this morning. So they should be in Freetown, all things being equal. We shall take a short break. When we'll come back, the Salutians too are still basking in the euphoria of their 4-4 draw with the Super Eagles. They never saw it coming, they never expected it. Despite they were talking of beating Super Eagles, I'm sure that they never meant it, but it almost happened. They are still celebrating. Who will blame them? So we'll talk about what the Salutians are saying, and we'll come back from this break.
Hello, Africa. Your favorite African movies has found a new home on TSTV Africa. At Mama African Movies, our schedule accommodates all kinds of genres: romance, epic, comedy, music, tragicomedy, drama series, and many more. Mama African Movies, home of African movies.
Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center, right here on the Grand Sport Extra. The youngsters of Sierra Leone are still celebrating their 4-4 draw against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and leading the celebration is the number one citizen of that country, President Julius Maada Bio. He described the Leone Stars as brave lion hearts. Those were his words on his verified Twitter handle. Yeah. How much of a result is this for the Star Juniors?
I think it feels more like a win for them. You know, despite the fact that they were saying, you know, they are coming to get all 3 points, like they want maximum point, but they know in their mind that, you know, it's just like a tall order. But then, with this kind of result, I think it's a morale booster going into this game. And don't forget, they are playing at home, and I don't know how it's going to play out. Just like we said, Sierra Leone side, they're very physical side, and we played into their hands on that particular day. And for this particular one, it feels like Nigeria actually lost all 3 points. If you see on the faces of the Super Eagles, you can see it. Even with the fans, we're not all happy, you know, because of the fact that, you know, when you look at Sierra Leone, you know, one will feel that it's a team that the Super Eagles can dispatch easily. So I think
29,
226 or so. Yeah, so it's like a defeat to the Super Eagles. Then again, it's like a win for them.
Okay, now with this celebration being led by the president of the country, I'm sure that the entire citizenry is being aroused. Tomorrow's match is now no longer what it was supposed to be. It's now a bigger. There's now much more at stake than it was, because they now see their chances. How difficult is it now for the Super Eagles?
It will obviously be very difficult for the Super Eagles. First of all, they are playing away. You know, they are playing in Sierra Leone, and with the fact that the Sierra Leoneans have gotten this win, I could call it a win too, even if it's a draw, because it's like playing. This win is like playing in the finals and winning the finals, obviously, because for them to have played this way, despite you know, conceding those goals and, you know, equalizing at the end of the day.
Is it actually the fact that we played 4-4 that is causing so much disappointment in Nigeria and so much celebration in Sierra Leone, or the manner in which the goals came after going down 4-0? It became 4-4. Does the fact that they came down from 4-0 down actually added more, how do I put it now, more implications to the fact that the match ended in a draw?
Well, that shows how highly spirited the Sierra Leoneans are. They didn't give up at any point. They believe that if they push forward, especially the fact that there were no fans, you know, it's just between us, you know, they had to, you know, go all out, you know, and try as much as possible to make that, to score those goals, and they obviously did it at the end of the day.
So why is it actually being much more difficult for Nigerians to take, like a bitter pill to swallow for us? We did it to Russia in the Saudi 89 under 20 World Cup. We came back from I think 4-0 down and won. So the Nigerians are going to say those of our own medicine. Is that why it's difficult for us to take?
The fact is, you know, when you are a footballing nation and you get to see this kind of thing, it's like, it's not something you get to see all the time, but when it happens, it's like they have pulled down all the architecture, and it's like everything is just it's not how it seems, how it should be. So everybody will just be, feeling kind of agitated because of, how disappointing, and because of the love you have for this game, because of the love you have for your country, this thing tends to, play a key role in how you actually behave when your country is on the losing side. So I think that's just about it. If it were to be the German side losing to a minnow in football, it will happen the same way. You see the Germans coming out to criticize. That's how it is in football. So the fans are like that. Even it's like that with the players as well. So I don't think.
Okay, still, the Sarinians actually are enjoying every bit of it, I must tell you. They're even joking about it. The Sarinian FHM president, Ishas Johansson, is quoted as having said that tomorrow's match, as Tuesday's second leg match, they will just manage and allow the Super Eagles score one before they go ahead and score the remaining ones. That's the level we are at the moment. Blessing. So the Sarinians are enjoying every bit of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them. It's their time. They should enjoy it while it lasts. Obviously, they've started with their controversies and they are still on it. They have more advantage, especially with the fact that they had this 4-4 draw, and the fact that with the excitement and the fact that they're playing at home, they have an advantage, to score a goal or to win in Syria alone. If the Super Eagles try, put in their effort, fine, they will win. But if they do not, we'll leave the rest for later.
Well, the Australians should not be too happy for that much, because they'll be missing the services of their captain. We know that that's the Australian team, the way it is. They don't appear to rely on one particular player. They play a very solid game. And I saw them, even after the 4 goes down, they kept on prodding. And so it's testimony to the team, how it plays. But then their captain, Umar Bagura, who was very influential in that match in the defense, will not be playing the match tomorrow because he's serving a suspension. He was issued the yellow card in that match, and that was the second yellow card of the qualifying series. And the rule says that if you have 2 yellow cards, you miss 1 match. So he will not be playing tomorrow. And would that be something the Super Eagles should celebrate?
I don't think there's much to celebrate about that. So probably another person will replace him.
But then the fact that Omar Bokora has so much influence in the team.
Yeah, he has influence in the team.
Playing, maybe we're missing Osimhen, they're missing Bagura.
Yeah.
1+1 bar.
Yeah, so but if you look at it critically, we have a lot of experience in that Serena side. We have the Kai Kamara with 36. We have Bangura himself, 33. We have some other players who are above 30. So I think that experience too it actually played a key role in what happened in Benin. So we have, other leaders in that team. So I'm sure he's going to be missed, but they still have other people to cover for him.
Well, indeed, for us Nigerians, we are hoping that the Sarinians actually use their best players, because we don't want excuses. Well, this issue will run. We'll talk about it. We'll keep on talking about it. The fact that Super Eagles, I'm very sure that even if Super Eagles go to Freetown and win tomorrow, the fact that they drew 4-4 in Benin on Friday will still remain a talking point in Sierra Leone. Yeah. One of the biggest results I think they have recorded in recent times in the footballing history. It's still the Grand Sports Center. We'll go on another short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about other matches played in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, as well as the Euro Nations League matches that were played over the weekend.
Grande brings to you Spring, the best blockbuster, action-packed and suspense-filled drama series. Amazing experiences, intrigues, exciting and romantic moments, musicals, and whip-cracking comedies. Only on Grande, World of Season Bolly Entertainment.
Grand Sports Center. We're still moving on to the program. Apart from the Super Eagles match against Sierra Leone, other matches were played on Saturday and Sunday. And one of the most interesting results is Senegal beating Guinea-Bissau 1-0. And that goal was scored by Sadio Mane in the 82nd minute. They had played earlier on Tuesday, and Senegal won 2-1. Then the reverse fixture was played on Saturday. Senegal won 1-0. So which means Senegal becomes the first team to qualify for the AFCON with 12 points maximum from all their matches so far. They now join host Cameroon as the only teams that have qualified for the AFCON. Austin, is it a surprise that Senegal, they are rated number one by FIFA in Africa already? So they are justifying that position.
Exactly, they're justifying it. You know, when it comes to African football, you can't take it away from Senegal. They're always serious whenever they are playing. You see the seriousness of on the faces of their players. Whenever they are playing, you don't see that they don't tend to underrate anybody. You see that stride. You see them playing, and you know most of their players, they are always modest, even though they have top players playing for top clubs in Europe. But you see them talking in a modest way. You see Mane is a reserved person. Like, he does not talk too much. You have Ghana Gueye, who is in Paris Saint-Germain. You have Ismail Assar. All these guys, you know, if you follow them closely, they are. I don't know. Not like we don't have serious minded players in the Nigerian squad, but the Senegalese guys, they are something else. It's like they put their heart and soul in whatever they are doing, especially when they are playing for their country.
For Senegal, they were finalists last year, and they've qualified. And we've seen that team evolved. The same coach, and this is the stage we expect the Super Eagles to be in right now, whereby you've raised up a team, not still rebuilding, as Kedetroy is still doing rebuilding. Every day we'll see new players coming into the team. Fine, room for new players, but then they should come in to fill in some deficient positions to the team, not just like having to try out players every time. The Senegalese team seems a very settled side. They are number one in the FIFA ranking in Africa. They've qualified for the Nations Cup, the first team. They've won all their matches home and away. And what else? Sadio Mane is firing all cylinders. So it's congratulations to them. Another match that was very interesting was the match between Comoros and Kenya. I mentioned it last week when they played the first leg in Nairobi. Comoros drew 1-1 with Kenya in Nairobi. Then the reverse fixture was played over the weekend, and Comoros beat Kenya 2-1. Comoros Island. Have you ever heard of that country in football? But then they got 4 points from Kenya over 2 legs. What does that tell you about African football?
But that's to tell you the importance of football and how well football is growing. No matter how new or how small a country is, that's to tell you how much football has grown to be. They've put in more effort. They at the same time they've tried to tell you that we are here. We are here, and we are here to make a mark. It's a good thing that football has really got into a stage where, no matter how small you are, you try to, in as much as you try to make better preparations, for. I'm trying to say here that
for all the matches,
no matter how small a team is,
you don't underrate anything.
You don't underrate any team.
At least Nigeria can Nigeria knows better now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. Well, away from the Nations Cup, other matches in Europe over the weekend, Nations League. For me, the big one was in Belgium, where Belgium beat England 2-0. England beat them when they met earlier, and Belgium taking the revenge. Dres Martins scoring the winner in that match. And that result, by implication, means England will not qualify for the finals of the Euro Champions League. They made the semi-finals last year, but this time around, is this a retrogression for the English team? Because this is one team that everybody felt can be rated as one of the best in the world at the moment.
Yeah, but so is Belgium. With the caliber of players in that Belgium national team, this sort of thing can happen. They can break any team. It can even be against one of the big boys. It can be against Germany. You know, Germany can hold, Belgium can hold their own against any team. Like if things go well for them. So at this point in time, you know, it's not England's day. So this particular one, you know, is for Belgium. So I believe they want to go on and win the UEFA Nations League, and I know they have the players to do so. Even with the likes of Lukaku missing, and they were still able to pull this kind of result. So shows the quality in that Belgium national team.
But England too, you can say they are also missing a lot of quality players. And for me, the England coach, Gareth Southgate, is he guilty of the same thing that we're accusing Gennaro of? Because I feel this English team is full of constant changes. Yeah. So much changes to the team. Although on this part, it is as a result of injuries. But then, I don't think England has played with same starting lineup consecutively for 2 matches in recent times. So, could we see the fact that lack of consistency in selection also affecting England?
Well, England have obviously young stars, and they've been affected with injury in recent times. So most of these things could be a contributing factor, especially in their loss against Belgium. Although they played away in that game, but at the same time, we expected England, to come out straight with a win, or make a mark in that game. But obviously, they lost, due to one factor or the other.
The other, as usual, that's football for you. It must be as a result of one factor or the other. Well, we're not going to dwell so much on this result, but for me, Spain, in recent times, have not been doing too well. They lost their last match to Switzerland, to Ukraine. They lost 1-0 to Ukraine against all expectations. And then they played a friendly match against Netherlands, and they played 1-1 in that match. And this weekend against Switzerland, they also played 1-1. Though Sergio Ramos missed 2 penalties. Yeah. The fact is, Spain has not won in 3 matches. I don't think it has happened in recent times before.
I think this is what happens in football when you fail to plan. I'll say it's due to lack of plans on the part of the Spanish side. Spain when they won the World Cup, they have this array of stars.
But they still do.
They do, but they seem not to have a defined pattern of play. It seems that what they are doing is not working for them. So, if something is not working, I think you have to sit down, go back to the drawing board, and replan again. So I think they are not doing that. They keep doing the same thing and expecting something to improve, and it's not happening. So at this point in time, they have to go back and replan again. I think that's their problem.
Yes, and probably also the injury issue, because you know that a lot of them are missing from injury. Thiago Alcantara is not part of the team due to injury, and some other players. Well, so much on the results from last weekend. I'm sure you must have seen the graphics on the wall, on the screen. Those are the results of both the Nations Cup qualifiers that were played at the weekend and the UEFA Nations League results of last weekend. We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll talk about other issues. What is happening in Formula One? Lewis Hamilton is all this way as a king of Formula One. Rafael Nadal in tennis got his ATP final to a flying start. Dustin Johnson won the US Masters Golf Tournament, world #1. And Tyson Fury is in the news again. This time he says he's no longer going to fight in December. We shall be talking about this and more when we come back from this break.
Ndị be anyị, daalụnụ na ikiri ihe onyonyo Mama Africa Igbo. Ọgba mkpụrụ abalị 15 ruo abalị 22 nke ọnwa bụ Nọvemba. Anyị ga-ebido gosiwa unu ihe nkiri pụrụ iche. Mama Africa Igbo, anyị zuru ka eme.
to the Grand Sports Center, and we'll go straight to Formula One. Lewis Hamilton. Who can stop Lewis Hamilton? He's all this way as the king of Formula One. Earlier in the season, he equaled, he actually surpassed Michael Schumacher's record of 21 wins, talking about championship wins. And only yesterday, at the Turkish Open Grand Prix, he won the Turkish Grand Prix and equaled Schumacher's record of 7 titles. So what does this tell you? For now, we can go to sleep and say even next year he's going to win the championship. Can we say that?
If he wants to.
If he wants to.
That's what he loves.
So everything lies with him.
Yeah, everything is just with him.
But how did he become a one-man show in Formula One?
I think
The likes of Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas.
I think
How did he become a one-man show?
it's about that experience. That I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, Hamilton is so good that even when you're at your best, you can't still beat him.
Is it about the car, the Mercedes car?
It's not about the car. Even he started from I think it was in sixth pole. He was in the sixth pole. Stroll was actually in the first pole. This is something that in Stroll's life, he has not started from in a pole position before. So he actually could not use that advantage. And Hamilton, who was in sixth, actually came. You get me. He came back from starting poorly from the qualifier, and he was still able to come out as the best.
Well, let's say probably it has to do with the entire Mercedes management.
Yeah.
Because not just about being a fast driver, not just about having a fast car, it's the entire management of the team. That's why we talk about team principals. Toto Wolff, who he said he wants to step up, but then he's been so successful with this team. People are saying that why leave that position? But Sebastian Vettel, who is also a 4-time world champion, has already paid tribute to Hamilton, referring to him as the greatest of the era so far. Well, blessing, Lewis Hamilton. Is there anything more to say about him? Do you think that he will still be motivated for next year? Because I understand that even his contract is expiring this year with Mercedes, he has not opened contract talks with as regards renewal. So does that send a message that probably is even losing motivation already? Because if you are looking ahead at next season, you should have actually settled your contract issue by now. But he's not even talking about that. Are we going to see a drop next season because he has won everything, he has surpassed every available record? Do you think that he still has more to give that he wants to give?
Of course, being a successful Formula One driver, there's more to give. Even if he doesn't sign a contract, the Mercedes will look for him anytime, any day. He can't walk away from it too soon, if you'd ask me. Honestly, he has gotten to a position that, he's confident. Formula One is a place where it's a sport where everybody wants to, want to watch. Everybody wants to know about Lewis Hamilton. What is next for him? His next competitor. And he's in a position where he has motivated a lot of people, especially the youngsters. A lot of people want to go into even Formula One, if you'd ask me.
Yes, well, we wish Lewis Hamilton the very best, and we just hope that at least there will be a competition for him next year, because it appears all the other people, Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, who are supposed to be the main people actually giving him a fight, actually not doing that. Away from Formula One, tennis, Rafael Nadal is also another player that has broken so many records this year. This year, he won his 13th French Open. He won his 20th Grand Slam title. He crossed the 1,000 mark for number of matches won. Joined that exclusive club of only 4 players that had the likes of Federer and Evan Lendl. Then now he's in the ATP Tour final. This is one competition he has never won. But then he got to a very ruthless start. He beat Andrei Rublev. This competition, by the way, is for the top 8 tennis players in the world, grouped into 2 groups of 4 each. So they play a round robin. In his first match, he played Russia's Andrei Rublev, who came into that match on the card of 40 victories. So he was in good form. But Rafael Nadal made him just walked past his passing with straight set win of 6-3, 6-4.
Yeah.
Rafael Nadal has never won this competition. Are we going to see, is this a sign that he wants to win it this year? Because if there's one competition that he has not won, this is it. And it's going to be becoming a dent in his sublime record.
Yeah. If you remember, we talked about this last week. And, this is a competition that people say, a lot of people are saying, it does not follow that pattern of, top players winning.
It's not a knockout issue. You have to play like a league.
Exactly. But the point now is he has not won this competition. He has not won the ATP finals. I said it last week. And this is something he might want to win at least before the end of his career. So him starting this way is a form of him making that statement that I want to win this thing. So this is the first step, and I believe he has what it takes to win, the ATP finals. If not for injury, unforeseen circumstances, anything can happen because in sports, injury can happen. So I believe he has started on a good note, and we also have Djokovic there as well, who might want to, equal Roger Federer's record. So I think we are going to see a dramatic ATP final this year.
Yes, indeed. And his next match, like we said, is a league match, is against Dominic Thiem. Thiem defeated Tsitsipas in his first match. So probably if he's able to ease past Thiem as well, we'll just maybe begin to hand over the competition to him. But we'll continue to keep our fingers crossed and give you events as they happen out there. In golf, a big one happened over the weekend. Dustin Johnson won his first Masters tournament at Augusta, and Johnson incidentally is the number one golf player in the world. He's ranked number one in the world. Then it was his first Masters and his second career major tournament. What would this mean for Dustin Johnson? You're number one. You never won the Masters. Is this now a justification of your number one position?
Yes, of course. For you to be number one, and the fact that you've attained a position where, wherever you are, you play golf, that yes, you've attained that position, so you have to come triumphant at any point in time. So he has ascertained the fact that he's number one, and for him to have won this event, placed him as number one. No one is going to take that position from him.
And the fact that it was Tiger Woods that presented the trophy to him. Tiger Woods was also in the running for it, but then he was the one that did the honor of giving him. What would this mean to Dustin Johnson, given the fact that we know that Tiger Woods is already a legend, a golf legend?
Of course, it's an impressive one. The fact that we all know who Tiger Woods is, and he has made a mark for himself. For Tiger Woods to have given you that jacket, that yes, you are at this position where you are a boss yourself.
Despite being number one, like I said when I was asking Blessing initially, it was never rated, because from what we know, when it was introduced, the tournament, he received very limited applause. There was, because it wasn't reckoned with. Fine, he may have garnered enough points to be number one in the golf standing, but then in terms of competitions won, it was not actually there and everything. So he has never really had a consistent run of winning competitions, but he has been consistent and finishing among the top maybe three, or so that's why I was able to get those points. But now, there's won a very big one, the Masters. Like I asked Blessing, would this be a justification of his status, or what would you think going forward from here now, having won this? Are we now going to actually see him unleash himself? Maybe because he has not won, he's been under pressure. Now that he has broken that jinx, are we going to see more from Dustin Johnson?
I think in sports, there's a high point and a low point. Now, Tiger Woods is at the low point of his career right now. He has seen it all. So I think we have a new king of golf now stepping in, because Tiger Woods, McIlroy, they're all, gradually winding down.
Justin is not young. He's 36.
Yeah, he's 36, but there's something about success. When you get to that level, you tend to get relaxed. Knowing fully well that he has won just one Masters in his career. So I think that
One
part
major,
of that,
one major.
one major, yeah, one major.
That's US Open.
Yeah.
That was 2016. Papa is 2016.
Yeah, so
You can imagine the length of time.
so I believe that will actually spur him on, and considering the fact that just like I said, Tiger Woods has seen it all, and his form is no longer the Tiger Woods he used to.
Yes, we know that, and we know that he has achieved a lot. So even if for now he doesn't even get to win anymore, what he has achieved speaks volume of his prowess as one of the greatest. I won't say the greatest, one of the greatest golf players ever, because there's still this issue about him and Jack Nicklaus, who is the greatest. But then that remains for the golf enthusiasts to determine. We shall take another break, and because of the break, we'll serve you Super Eagles Watch. And today in sports history, what we're going to tell you some important events that have happened in the history of sports on this day, 16th November, over the years. So we'll take Super Eagles Watch and today's sports history. Welcome to Super Eagles Watch. We continue our focus on the 2021 AFCON qualifier between Nigeria and Sierra Leone. The Super Eagles should have departed for Sierra Leone by now, ahead of their return leg match against the Leone Stars in Group L of the 2021 AFCON qualifiers. Going by arrangement for the trip to Sierra Leone, the Eagles were scheduled to depart via a chartered flight by 8 a.m. this morning. Meanwhile, Victor Osimhen will not be part of the match in Freetown as the striker returned to Napoli on Sunday for further treatment on his shoulder injury. Osimhen was substituted in Friday's encounter with the Leone Stars after he dislocated his shoulder. Minister of Sports Sunday Dare has challenged the Super Eagles to go all out for victory in Tuesday's second leg match against the Leone Stars in Freetown. The sports minister, who expressed shock and disappointment over the lackluster performance of the Eagles, especially in the second half of Friday's first leg encounter, has demanded a response from the Eagles. And talking about a response, coach of the Super Eagles, Genetra, has promised a reaction from his players when they face the Leone Stars in Freetown on Tuesday. Despite the setback in the quest for the 2021 AFCON ticket due to the draw in the first leg on Friday in Benin, Ra is optimistic that the Eagles will react to make amends for the disappointment on Tuesday in Freetown. Despite the inability of the Eagles to secure all 3 points in Friday's first leg encounter against the Leone Stars of Sierra Leone, Super Eagles defender Leon Balogun is still optimistic that they will beat the Leone Stars in Freetown on Tuesday. Balogun believes that they learned a better lesson on Friday and will go all out to make amends by ensuring they secure victory over the Leone Stars on Tuesday. And speaking in the same vein, Super Eagles vice captain William Truth Ekong says the players are ready to do all it takes to redeem themselves in Tuesday's reverse fixture against the Leone Stars in Freetown on Tuesday. Ekong tweeted a message that it's in the Niger spirit to overcome and succeed, stating that they were hungry and ready for redemption on Tuesday. That's Super Eagles Watch for today. We continue to keep close tabs on the Super Eagles as they prepare for the all-important encounter against the Leone Stars in Freetown on Tuesday on this program. Still the Grand Sports Extra and Grand Sports Center on the Grand Sports Extra. And as we wrap it up on the program today, we'll talk handball. There was basketball handball action in the last 2 weeks in Nigeria at the Moshood Abiola Stadium Indoor Sports Hall, and we've been giving you results. It was concluded over the weekend with Safety Shooters of Abuja emerging winners of the National Premier League in the men category, while in the women category, it was Adorable Angels of Kwara State that won the National Premier League. And some interesting presentations. Atabo Abubakar of Safety Shooters was named tournament most valuable player for the men category, while Adorable Angels Abdulrazak Idowu was made the most valuable player in the women's category. Well, it's a big development for handball. We had a Premier League that ran for 2 weeks, successfully concluded. Quickly before we wrap up, what does it mean for the development of handball in Nigeria?
It's actually a good one, for handball in Nigeria. They've been able to start and finish a tournament. It's not an easy one. So I must give them the kudos. And one thing I'm so happy about is the fact that we are going to have 2 teams, representing Nigeria at the continental level. So it's a good one for them, and kudos.
Yes, for handball players in the country, listen, getting back to action, seeing regular competitions. What does this mean?
It has to tell you how, unlike football, if you're not prepared, you definitely not. It won't show off. So they prepared the best team. Obviously, made the day at the end of the day.
Yes, indeed. From that note, that will wrap it up on Grand Sports Center today. We hope you've been able to spice up your day with interesting discussions we've had in the studio. We'll be back same time, same station tomorrow. Another interesting edition. And as usual, we're looking forward to having you join us once again. Let me quickly thank my colleagues, Austin Arume, for coming.
Always my pleasure.
And Blessing Bassi for being part of the show.
Thank you, too.
I'm Donald Akwababo on behalf of all of us and the entire production crew. Enjoy the rest of the day.